yeah, when you go to this particular place, police can potentially shoot you even if you haven't done anything. Okay, don't come to Africa. No one's trying to force you to come. It's going to become harder and harder and harder to be in the West. Don't judge Africa just because I'm trying to help you understand. If you like peace, Ghana is for you. It feels like you're actually living for the first time in your life. That's the only way I can say it. Like, success doesn't mean necessarily what's in your bank account. $2,000 to live in Ghana, those melting moments don't necessarily go away just because you're in Africa. The duty is on you to do your own research. You're armored up in the West anyway. You just don't know it because you're used to it. Hey guys, welcome back. Okay. Today's video, I want to address some of the comments that were made. The video that I did, kind of, I would say, backing up Oshay Jackson on some of the things that he touched on in his, I want to call it a rant video. I did that video to give a little bit more clarity to what he was saying. And looking at the comment section, I was just so amazed. And I'm always amazed whenever I do these videos where I don't beautify Ghana or Africa, right? Where I tell the real, because a lot of the time people come back into the comment section and are like, oh, that's why I would never move there. Like, it's this video in particular I'm picking out because, like, it's one comment after another and after another, and the same on his video as well. Like, the comment section was pretty much the same. You know, people were like, that's why I would never move to Africa. If you're going to go to Africa, just visit. Like, this barrage of negative comments. Now, the one thing I want you guys to understand is that I don't do these videos to put you off coming to Africa. I do these videos so that you can have a better understanding of what it's like to be here, what you're going to face. It's like, I could very well do a video, right, and describe all the things in America, but not mention the country, and ask you if you would live there, and you probably be like, ah, hell no. But you know what the truth is, that you already live there. You already live in America. You already live in the UK. If I listed out all the bad things, right, that happen in America, yeah, when you go to this particular place, police can potentially shoot you even if you haven't done anything. You're going to suffer all types of prejudice. You know, you're never going to be able to climb the corporate ladder in the way that you want to. People are always going to, like, look over their shoulder at you. You know, all these negative things. If I was to do a video and say that but not tell you the country, you would, and don't lie now, you would say, I would never live there. And that's the same thing that you're doing when it comes to Africa. I'm showing you the real of what it is so that you're prepared. And all the comment section is like, oh, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Okay, don't come to Africa. No one's trying to force you to come. I'm going to say Ghana, right? No one's forcing you to come to Ghana. You don't have to. In fact, Ghana's not for everybody. And some of you that are even in Ghana shouldn't even be in Ghana because it's not for you. Like, you're going to struggle because Ghana requires a certain type of person, right? And if you're not a person that's willing to come out of your comfort zone, if you're not willing to adjust how you think, if you're not willing to understand the culture, you're going to be frustrated there. It's not going to be a good experience for you. If you're that type of person and you're very stuck in your ways, then you shouldn't be in Ghana anyway. It's not for everyone, and that is okay, right? Stay in the West, go to a different country. Like, there are tons of different countries that you can go to. Go somewhere else if that's not for you. If you want something that's going to be in Africa but a lot more like the West, then try South Africa. You know, you're not going to get 100% the African experience, but you'll get something of it, right? So my point is, like, don't judge Africa just because I'm trying to help you understand what it's like to be here. I could very well sit here and do a video and beautify all the things that happen in Ghana, all the wonderful things, because there are many things, but I'm trying to give balance because I feel like there is so many videos out there that talk about all the good things and the amazing things, and they're valid. I'm not saying that they're not valid, but they're valid. But if you want to have a proper understanding of to understand the culture and understand what it really means to move to Ghana, then this channel is going to give you that. This channel is going to fully prepare you for what it is without and let you take off those rose-colored glasses, right? Because I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. I want you to understand what you're walking into. So it's not about trying to put you off coming, or, you know, I'm not some type of plant or anything like that. I'm just trying to help you in the best way that I can. Ghana has so many benefits. If you like peace, Ghana is for you. If you just want to be able to have moments where you can just have clarity of thought, Ghana is for you. You're going to have certain frustrations when you move here, right, initially. But for the most part, once that kind of settles down, you're able to slow down. The pace of life in Ghana is so much slower compared to the West. And that's probably one of the biggest hurdles, I would say, when it comes to moving to Ghana, like that slower pace of life, because you've been on 100 for so long. And then when someone says, okay, well, actually, you don't need to do 100, you can do 50, like it's more balanced, then you feel like you're not being productive almost, right? It just feels like some type of way. And so that's what you're going to experience. But once you get over that initial hurdle, you'll see that, you know what, you think clearer, your ideas are better, you have time for yourself, like you invest in yourself much more. It feels like you're actually living for the first time in your life. That's the only way I can say it. That's the experience that I had when I came here. I didn't feel like I am merely surviving, like, trying to stay on top of my bills, trying to make sure this, that, and the other is done. It wasn't like that anymore. It's like I actually was able to smell the fresh air. Do you know what I'm saying? I was actually able to see the beauty in things. It's like you walk down the street and you're actually able to appreciate your surroundings. You're not just walking with a mission, like, oh my gosh, I've got to get to the train station on time because I've got to get to work. And so you're not taking in anything, right? It's almost like you're having these picture moments in your life, but they're happening in real time, where you're just looking around and you're seeing what other people are doing. You're seeing the hustle and the bustle, and you're experiencing all these beautiful things, but you have a moment to think about it, to go home and digest and really sit back and, have your thoughts. Ghana's going to give you that. That in the West is very difficult to do. You can't do that on a weekend. Like, you get your weekends. Weekends are like what? Saturday, Sunday, right? Saturday, okay, you've come from work on Friday night. Saturday, you're like, oh yes, Saturday's going to be amazing. You might go out on Friday. But then Sunday, you're dreading because Monday's the next day. So all you're doing is like dreading and trying to prepare because it's Monday the next day. And so you don't have to necessarily have that experience when you're in Ghana anymore, because life is just different. It's a completely different lifestyle. And so I don't want to put you off. So I guess I'm kind of doing this video to counteract some of the comments, because I feel like when people see negative comments, and especially when there's a train of them, right? And you who's maybe midway thinking, okay, you know what, I want to move to Ghana, but I have my reservations. When you start seeing comments like that, it's going to completely put you off, and it really shouldn't. I mean, I've been in Ghana for like 11, going on 12 years now. And although I've had my issues, I've had my challenges, I've had frustrating things happen to me, it's never put me off to say I want to go back to the West. In fact, I would struggle very much to be back in the West, because to readjust to that fast pace, it's going to just be beyond me. Like, I would seriously very, very much struggle, because I've got used to living a certain type of way. I've got used to living on my own terms, right? Ghana, if you are any type of entrepreneur, any type of creative person, Ghana is great for that. Your ideas are going to like literally flow. You will not even be able to stay on top of them, because you're always thinking, okay, what's the next best thing? I've said it in a previous video where Ghana is very much doing time travel backwards. How many of us have been like, oh my gosh, when you're in the West, you're like, oh my gosh, if only I had the foresight to see this idea. Okay, well, now you have had the foresight to see it, because you can see there are ideas, things that have happened in the West that you can bring to Ghana and be like, and execute, because no one's doing it yet. Or even if they are doing it, it's very much in its infancy. Like, you can catch waves of boom here in Africa, in Ghana. Like, there are many people that have made it. There are many people that have become rich, become millionaires. There are many people that live a very successful life. And success is whatever you deem it to be, right? Success doesn't mean necessarily what's in your bank account. Success can be like, okay, well, I have my house, I have my comforts, I have a garden where I'm growing my own fruits and my vegetables. For some people, that's their dream. Just to be able to grow their own veg and live off the earth for themselves, right? That's their dream, and that is success to them, and that is cool. You have a shot at that. Trying to do something like in the West is going to be a lot harder. There are benefits to being here, and I just don't want you to be put off and miss those things just because now there's a trend of don't move to Africa. Or I don't want to say a trend, but there's been a few videos floating around where you could easily say, well, yeah, I'm not going to go there anymore. Let me go to Bali. Let me go to Spain. Let me go to one of these other types of countries. It's not that. Like, come experience it for yourself, what it's like. And if it's not for you, then it's not for you. That's cool. Then go somewhere else. But don't let these telling the real videos to put you off what your journey is, because there's many of us that are living here that are very happy. If you look back at my videos, you'll see that I've done interviews with people who have like really, their life has turned around. Their life has literally been able to have a 180 change because they've moved to Africa. Let's talk about the lower cost of living when you live here. You can live an expensive lifestyle here if you want to, but you don't have to. You can live a medium lifestyle, like if you're able to generate income from the West, right? $2,000 to live in Ghana is more than enough. Like, I don't know. You're gonna have to find ways to spend it. Let's put it that way. Once you've sorted out your accommodation and maybe your transport, you have to find ways to spend $2,000. It's like, unless you're going out of your way to, I want to eat in a restaurant every day, I want to do this, and I want to have those luxury lifestyle experiences, then yeah, that's enough. Maybe 5,000 be great for you. But you don't need that. You can easily live on a very small amount of money and do amazing things, have an amazing experience in Ghana. You know, when you come to Ghana, finding your tribe is one of the most important things that you should do. You should have a network of people that understand you, where you're coming from, and understand what it's like to be in the environment that you're in, because those are going to be your people. Those are going to be the people that will support you on the days where you feel like this is a lot, because we all have days like that. Even in the West, we have days many days I had like that, where I was in the West, where I was just like, you know, you open your mail and you're like, oh my, not this, I don't want to deal with this. And you have those melting moments. Those melting moments don't necessarily go away just because you're in Africa. They're just probably different. They're just shaped differently, right? So when you have those moments, it's nice to have a community around you that can understand where you've come from, what's going forward, to see people who have surpassed you, people who are just ahead of you, and you can pull on their experiences, and you know, you can have a good time together. It's like, building community is one of the important things that you've got to do when you come here. It makes living in Ghana so much easier, because Ghana is not individualistic. Ghana is very community based. So if you're going with the notion of, well, I'm just going to do everything myself, you're going to struggle. You're going to have a very, very hard time. And I think even for myself, when I first moved to Ghana, I kind of am like that, because I am ever since I was in school, I realized that I'm very much a lone ranger. I don't really keep a ton of friends. I'm introverted as well. And so I'm happy to do my own thing. Like, I don't go restaurants and places by myself. Like, hey, I'm happy to be in the house. I'm happy to be in the house, put on Netflix, do my own thing. Hey, I'm cool. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I can do that. And so when I moved to Ghana and I still had that notion about me where I'm a lone ranger, I struggled a bit. I did, because I then felt like, you know what, I need some people here. Like, sometimes I want to step out, and sometimes I don't know, I just want something different. And you need people. You need people to bounce things off. You need people to bounce frustrations off. And so that's one of the things that I definitely did struggle with. And probably even today, I wouldn't say I struggle with, because I understand myself more now, but I would say I'm still kind of like a lone ranger, but I still have people that I can pull on, right? Because of the space that I'm in. I know it sounds very weird because I'm introverted, but you know, and I'm doing these videos and you probably think you're not introverted. Trust me, I am very introverted. But it's like I have to learn to adapt in some way where I can still be myself and be in my introverted space if I want to. But if I want to step out and I want to be a bit different, I need to be able to have a community that understands where I'm coming from. And so I've had to learn to balance in that sense, if you understand what I'm saying. And so, you know, if you're willing to adapt, you're willing to adjust to some of the things in Ghana or Africa, you can definitely make it. You can have the best life ever. Like, literally live your dreams. If that's what your heart desire is, live your dreams in Africa. It's not about putting you off coming here. I just want you to be prepared so you don't get the shock of your life. You know, another thing that I love about being here is the ability to pivot until you find what works for you. The number of times I've had like ideas, I'm like, okay, this would be a great business, that would be a great business. And then I try it and it doesn't work. And then I'm like, I pivot, I do something else. And it's like the freedom to be able to do that. Like, no one's judging you. Everybody's on their own mission, doing their own thing. And so You can pivot 100 times, it doesn't matter. And I love that about it. Like I said, if you're an entrepreneur, Ghana, Africa is for you, because you can do it. You can pivot as many times as you want. You literally have the ability to create the lifestyle that you want for yourself. Can you do that in the West? To some degree, yes, but not in the same way that you can do it in Africa. You can literally create the life that you want for yourself and your kids, if that's what you want. And let me also say this about having children, right? One thing I realized about moving to Ghana with my kids is that they were able to adapt much easier than I was even able to do, because when you have children, right, they very much they don't come with the prejudices and the biases that we come with, right? So they just are happy in their own bubble, in their own space. They just enjoy. They're like, okay, well, I can play outside, and they go off and they do their thing. You know, they don't have the restrictions that we have as we get older. They don't have those same boxes that we are stuck in. And so if you have children and you're thinking about coming to Ghana and it worries you, really, you don't need to be worried, because you'll see for yourself, like, the way that your children adapt. Even you will look and you'll be like, oh, hold on a minute. You know, like, your children are going way ahead of you. You're the one holding this back. Like, you're the one with all the fears. They don't have those same inhibitions that we have. They have, like, real freedom. And so it's so nice to be able to show your children something else, but still give them access to the West. If they get older and they want to go back to the West, allow them to go back to the West, allow them to create their own path, you know, but you've given them such a great experience by giving them exposure to what Africa is. Because honestly, I truly believe that it's going to become harder and harder and harder to be in the West, whether we like it or not. There's going to be a time where you're literally going to have to decide where you want to be now, because the West is going to be very difficult. I don't believe that, and this is me just throwing out a theory, I'm not saying it's true. I don't believe, like, pensions are going to be enough to sustain you while you're in the West. I mean, they're not anyway, but I feel like the things that are keeping people in the West, that make moving to Africa fearful, those things are going to be removed. At some point, they're going to be removed, and you will have wished that you moved to Africa when you should have, if that makes sense. Let me try and explain what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you know, Africa has there's time periods for certain things, right? When I came in 2014, there were things that were booming at the time. Once that boom is over. You have to wait for the next wave of whatever it is. And it's like, the longer that you wait, the more you miss opportunities, the more you miss some of these waves. And so the longer you wait, the harder it is going to be for you to be able to be here, is what I'm trying to say, to be in Africa, because you would have missed so many waves, and where your opportunity was, not that you can't ever get it back, but it will just be more difficult. You know, there are certain things in the West that you wish, like, oh, I wish I did that. Oh, I wish I did Bitcoin. Like, how did I miss out on Bitcoin? Like, this is your opportunity. Like, I hope you're following what I'm saying. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. You know, let's also talk about, you know, the sunshine. It's, even when it is raining season in Ghana, the sun still comes out. It's not like the UK where it's grey and it drizzles all day long and it's just miserable and it affects your whole being. It's not like that. Even if it rains extremely heavy and then it stops. 2 hours later, sometimes you don't even have a sign that there was even rain, because everything is just dried up. The sun is out. Like, I can't explain to you how nice that makes you feel. I always tell people that I'm solar powers, right? When I'm cold, I don't function very well. But when the sun is out, I'm just like, I'm full of ideas. I'm full of life. I feel really good about myself. And I wouldn't want to give that up, because I know the way I am set up, I need the sun. And so the sun does it for me. Really, being in Africa, you get to live more of your purpose rather than having this need for constant survival. And so if you're a person that wants to have purpose and meaning to your life, then Africa is a great place to start. Okay, you may find that Africa's not for you, and maybe you'll move somewhere else, but you shouldn't restrict yourself just off videos. Some of these videos is people's personal experiences. There are just as many people that may have not had some of these experiences, and that's cool. Maybe you have, not everybody's going to have the exact same experience in the exact same way. So it really is, the duty is on you to do your own research, to have your own experiences. Come see it for yourself. But you take heed of the warnings so that you don't fall into certain things. Like I did the video where I was like, stop sending money to people. You're giving money to people, they're gonna chop your money, right? Your money's gonna be gone. Like, come on now. You've seen the videos, so you should have an awareness about how you should handle your money and how you should conduct yourself when you're in some of these places. So these things are just there to help you armor yourself so that you don't have a problem. You're armored up in the West anyway, you just don't know it because you're used to it. So I'm just preparing you that when you come to Africa, the kind of armor that you're going to need to be able to get through, that's it. That's the purpose of these videos, nothing more than that. It's not to put you off, it's to just equip you, and that's it. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I hope you have an understanding. Let me know what you think about what I've said in the comment section if you have anything to add. I'm really enjoying reading your comments. Don't forget, if you are thinking about moving back to Ghana and you would like to do a one-to-one consultation, I'm definitely open for that. You can send me an email to dela@more2dela.com, and we can set that up from there. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Don't forget to also like, comment and share this video. Until next time.